Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good? I recently rainbowed this unit finally and decided to invest in the potential orbs. So I went ahead and tested this unit out. It's not a unit you really hear about too often, so I figured it would be a pretty good occasion to test out. As you saw, I did go a little bit heavier on the additional attack side because of the built-in skill sets, and we'll cover all that here in a second. But before we get into that, definitely make sure to like the video if you enjoy the content. If you're new to the channel, definitely make sure to hit the subscribe button. So this is the super physical type Super Saiyan 2 GT Goku unit. Dokkan Awaken did happen somewhat recent, I guess you could say in a way, but it's been a little while, I guess, to be honest. But it's recent enough to where it's not really, that outdated, I guess, so to speak, because obviously there's a lot of other units that have gotten rebirths, Dokkan Awakens, that are already outdated. So that's basically the point I was making. But leader skills, all type key +2, HP attack and defense increases 70%. Obviously not great, but a decent secondary leader skill to have in a battlefield setting. The super attack does have the Kaioken mechanic where you have the ability to raise attack and cause supreme damage to enemies. So obviously the longer the battle is, the better this guy becomes. Now the passive skill is actually where the most beneficial value of including a unit like this on a team would be. So this guy has the ability for key +3 attack increase of 100% when key is 9 or more. So pretty much you just basically need a key meter or 9 to get that super attack, and then defense increase of 120% and chance of performing a critical hit increased by 40% for 4 turns after performing a super attack. So you get a defensive boost of 120%, which is a nice little stack. On top of that, you have a 40% chance for 4 turns on getting a critical hit. So that's basically the reason why I went with a focus on additional attack. Is basically you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, where you're raising the attack with the super attack and also getting that critical hit chance of 40%. So, it's kind of like a good system going with the additional attack at level 17, and I think crits were at level 9. So that's pretty much the setup for this unit. And then for the links, you're looking at Golden Warrior, that is key +1, enemies defense -2000, Saiyan Lineage is +1 key, Super Saiyan's 10% toward attack, All in the Family is 15% to defense, GT is key +2, Prepare for Battle is also key +2, and finally Fierce Battle is 15% toward attack. It's a little bit limited in terms of like the amount of categories this unit falls into. Surprisingly, Pure Saiyans, Goku's Family, and Super Saiyan 2 are pretty much the only categories this applies to. But all 3 of those are pretty good category setups, and you could certainly run a pretty good team with this unit included. At 100% potential, you saw it earlier, HP is 14,268, attack is 13,409, and defense is 9,190. 12 key multiplier is 145%. Again, the longer the battle is for this unit, the better it becomes. So, of course, the events like Infinite Dragon Ball History is one of the good areas to test this unit out. I actually did test this unit on the Legendary Goku event as well, but and he did fine. I think just from kind of an overall showcase standpoint, I figured this would be a little bit better occasion because you are facing a lot more in terms of like variety of enemies between super and extreme. Not that it really matters in terms of the skill sets for this particular unit, but I don't know, I just preferred the session with the Infinite Dragon Ball History event over the Legendary Goku event. So I can certainly upload the Legendary Goku event version of it if you guys want to see it. So I mean, definitely let me know if that's something that would pique your interest and you actually want to check it out. Otherwise, we'll keep it as this format. So in terms of like the team build itself, it is a Goku's Family setup where you have the Agility Super Saiyan 4 Goku as my lead, and then the LR Gohan and Goten as the friend lead. Of course, they do have 2 leader skills where it's Goku's Family and Siblings Bond, so it all works out because I included pretty much Goku's Family category units anyway. The Super Saiyan 2 physical type Goku unit actually does link pretty well with the GT version of the Super Saiyan 2 Goku, and the physical Super Saiyan 2 Goku actually provides a boost to Super Saiyan 2 category allies, so that actually works out. Of course, the Exchange Goku and Gohan unit do provide that 30% boost toward attack and defense for Goku's family allies as well, so pretty beneficial unit to have on that. Other units, of course, LR Gohan, just for damage mitigation purposes. That's really where the real focal point of including a unit like that is. And I'm trying to think who else is on it. Oh yeah, the Namek Saga transforming Super Saiyan Goku is also on it because he is a pretty good unit in terms of both offense and defense. Especially when you transform, you're able to mitigate damage quite well. So of course, on a setting like this, it works out pretty well, and the Rage Goku actually links up relatively well with the, GT Super Saiyan 2 Goku as well. So it all does pretty well, I think, in my opinion, and they link up fairly good. I do like units where they do have built-in skill sets where they do have a percentage increase toward crits. It pretty much makes it a no-brainer to invest toward additional attack in the potential system. Along with that, the fact that this unit does raise attack with every super attack just makes it even further of a no-brainer that you should just go heavier toward additional attack. I'm not really that much of a preferred type of guy when it comes to investing levels toward evasion. I typically only invest when it's purely a defensive unit, or you're basically just including a unit because of the skill sets from either the super attack or passive skill, and for an absolute certainty that you really don't need to invest in crits. I mean, otherwise I pretty much kind of just go with additional attack and crits. I mean, that's just my playstyle, my preference. Obviously every person's different, so again, that's just my opinion. So in terms of attack stats toward the later parts of the battle, I mean, you can see it obviously creep up to 647k. Definitely a pretty decent amount. I think with that, converted as a super attack activating, that's, probably about a little over 2 million plus, I think, at this point. We'll check here in a second, but those are certainly respectable numbers, especially given that you do have a 40% crit chance with every super attack, or within the 4 turns after a super attack activating. So definitely makes things a little bit nicer. I think on this run though, it almost felt like I was getting a little bit shafted on RNG with the critical hit chances, but it is what it is. Sometimes that stuff does happen, but at the end of the day, it is a 40% increase toward getting a critical hit chance by performing a super attack for 4 turns. Along with that, key boost of 3, attack increase of 100%, and defense increase of 120% with all the passive skill sets. It's definitely a very good unit, and it's a Super Saiyan card, obviously, so links up pretty well with the most part. I mean, the link sets are pretty common. I mean, Golden Warrior, Saiyan Lineage, Super Saiyan, those are pretty common. Prepare for Battle, obviously, is very common as well. Fierce Battle, also very common link skill toward attack, and all in the family is definitely specific to a certain type of unit, but GT is also the same case. But outside of that, fairly common links, and you really shouldn't face any sort of issues building a team with this unit included. So relatively easy, viable unit to run on a team, and overall as a unit itself, very solid. I mean, a lot of good skill sets, passive skills, super attacks built in. Yeah, in my opinion, a very solid unit. So I really did want to test this guy out on some of the more relevant teams. I did a showcase a while back, probably last year, on Goku's family, but of course, given the full year since I've done a showcase, I believe a lot of things can easily change within a year. So I definitely did want to do an updated showcase, especially with the units like the EZA for the physical Super Saiyan 2 Goku, fairly recent and stuff like that. It's kind of nice to go back in and check and see how things are. So yeah, my assessment, very solid unit, very viable. Certainly good on the 3 categories that this guy can fall on. So, I still rate this guy pretty highly. Certainly useful. Again, longer battle settings are where you're going to see the most benefit out of this guy, but even shorter settings, 40% crit chance based on super attack is very good stuff. So again, this is the showcase for the 100% potential physical type Super Saiyan 2 GT Goku. Hopefully you enjoyed the video as always. I do appreciate you watching, and I will catch you guys later. All right, peace out.